Welcome back to Football Tactic Zone, your daily source for the biggest football news, transfer updates, and tactical stories from around the globe. I'm your host, and today's edition is absolutely packed. From Tottenham's flying start and Barcelona's perfect La Liga opener to Bayern's Super Cup triumph and big transfer rumors, we've got it all. Let's get straight into it. Check it out. Tottenham Hotspur kicked off their Premier League 2025-26 campaign in style, securing a convincing 3-0 win over Burnley. Spurs dominated from start to finish, with Brazilian striker Richarlison stealing the spotlight. He opened the scoring in the 10th minute, then added a second goal in the 60th, a brilliant strike that had Spurs fans on their feet. Brennan Johnson sealed the win just 6 minutes later with a composed finish that was a dream start for Thomas Frank in his first Premier League game in charge of Tottenham, and the perfect way for Richarlison to remind the world of his talent. Over at Molineux, Manchester City looked every bit the defending champions as they crushed Wolves 4-0. Erling Haaland was once again the difference maker, scoring twice, in the 34th and 61st minutes. Belgian talent Theodor Renders grabbed his first Premier League goal in the 37th minute, while Ryan Sergio capped things off with a strike in the 81st. This dominant win sent City straight to the top of the Premier League table after matchday. Other Premier League results: Aston Villa 0-0 Newcastle Brighton, 1-1 Fulham Sunderland, 3-0 West Ham. A strong opening weekend across England's top flight. In Spain, Barcelona opened their La Liga title defense with a perfect start, defeating Mallorca 3-0 away from home. Goals from Rafinha, 17-foot, and Ferran Torres, 23, gave Barca an early lead, and things got even tougher for Mallorca as they were reduced to 9 men before halftime. Despite the numerical advantage, Barca didn't add to their tally until the very end, when Lamine Yamal finished the game off with a late goal. The win highlighted Barca's strength and depth, with young star Yamal once again proving why he's regarded as one of the brightest prospects in world football. La Liga results: Matchday 1 Alaves 2-1 Levante, Valencia 1-1 Real Sociedad. In Germany, Bayern Munich claimed the 2025 German Super Cup with a 2-1 victory over VfB Stuttgart at the MHP Arena. Harry Kane gave Bayern the lead in the 18th minute, before Luis Diaz doubled it in the 77th. Stuttgart pulled one back deep into stoppage time through Jamie Luling, but it was too little too late. Bayern lift the first trophy of the German season, underlining their intent for another dominant campaign. In Italy, Inter Milan closed out their preseason with a 2-0 win over Olympiacos. Federico Di Marco opened the scoring in the 16th minute, and Marcus Thuram secured the win early in the second half, a positive result that boosts Inter ahead of the Serie A kickoff. Meanwhile, Juventus edged Atlanta 2-1 in a dramatic preseason finale. Jonathan David and Dusan Vlahovic found the net for the Bianconeri, ensuring Igor Tudor's side enters the new season on a high note. Back to the Premier League, Richarlison's brace wasn't just about goals. One of his strikes came from a stunning bicycle kick, already being talked about as an early contender for goal of the season. Spurs fans will be hoping this is just the beginning of a prolific campaign for their number 9. Barcelona's young sensation Lamine Yamal was named man of the match in their 3-0 win. Not only did he score the final goal, but his energy, creativity, and relentless movement drove Barca forward all night. At just 18 years old, he continues to look like the future of the club. Big transfer whispers out of Manchester: Ederson was left out of City's squad for the Wolves game, fueling speculation that his move to Galatasaray is close. Reports suggest negotiations are now at an advanced stage, and the Brazilian keeper could soon be leaving the Etihad after years as City's number 1. Meanwhile, Jadon Sancho has rejected a potential move to Roma. Manchester United had agreed terms with the Italian club, but the player himself has not given the green light. His future at Old Trafford remains uncertain. Dutch defender Kelvin Verdonk continued his fine form, playing a full 90 minutes as NEC Nijmegen defeated Heracles Almelo 4-1. The result puts NEC at the top of the Eredivisie standings early in the season. A huge name in Europe has finally landed in America. After 25 years at Bayern Munich, Thomas Muller has officially joined Vancouver Whitecaps FC in Major League Soccer. Muller says he won't make bold promises, instead focusing on adapting to the pace and style of North American football. Still, his leadership and experience are expected to be invaluable for the Whitecaps. Manchester United appear close to selling Malaysian youngster to Malaysia. Italian side Atlanta have reportedly opened talks, with discussions already underway between the club and the players' representatives. At Stamford Bridge, Chelsea have agreed a new long-term deal with Marc Cucurella. Just a year ago, the Spaniard was considered expendable, but under the new system he's flourished and become a key part of the squad. The new contract rewards his resurgence and commitment. Mikel Arteta believes Arsenal are now one of the top teams in Europe. In his 5.5 years in charge, Arsenal have won an FA Cup and 2 Community Shields, while finishing as Premier League runners-up in 3 of the last 4 seasons. The Spaniard admitted the big trophies are still missing, but insists the transformation is complete and Arsenal are ready to challenge Europe's elite. Liverpool winger Federico Chiesa scored his first Premier League goal in the Reds' 2025-26 opener against Bournemouth. After the match, Chiesa confirmed he is happy at Anfield and has no intention of leaving. That ends speculation about a possible move away. Tottenham midfielder Yves Bissouma finds himself at a crossroads after more disciplinary issues. He was left out of the UEFA Super Cup squad for being late to training, and with less than a year left on his contract, Spurs are considering selling him. West Ham and Everton are monitoring the situation. Inter Milan's Davide Fratesi is a hot property this summer. Several Premier League clubs are preparing moves, though Fratesi may stay in Italy after the arrival of new coach Christian Chivu, which could reshape Inter's midfield plans. Juventus are close to offloading Brazilian midfielder Douglas Luiz. He has reportedly agreed personal terms with Nottingham Forest, with final negotiations between the two clubs ongoing. Finally, Barcelona striker Robert Lewandowski, now 36 years old, says he feels at peak fitness heading into the new season. Despite his age, he remains a leader on and off the pitch and insists his mentality is still at 100%. And that wraps up today's edition of Football Tactics Zone Daily, a huge roundup from across Europe and beyond. Make sure to like, share, comment, and of course subscribe so you don't miss any of the biggest football updates. We'll be back tomorrow with more breaking news and tactical insights. See you then. Do you want me to also expand this rewrite into a full 1,700-word FDZ daily script, like your other ones, with more tactical context and US audience details, or keep it at this natural recap length?